really crazy noise is being thrown at you and scattered all over each track. And that's great because usually when you have experimental music, it's nice to know this track will be annoying, it's just going to sound messy, what's it going to sound like in general. But you know, a lot of these tracks actually do stuff really well.
Hello, person. Welcome to this place.
Hello, person. Welcome to this place. You are now tuned into the sounds of Noisia Radio.
Noisia Radio.
This week features a very special recording of Outer Edges Live from Frequency Festival in Austria in 2017.
Yes. Basically, the whole episode is a Noisia Radio reload of the Outer Edges live experience that we are also releasing in audio this week.
Yes, and what better track to start it with than the track that it starts with? This is the approach. Of course, we're going to be going through this whole thing and talking about the things that we remember about the tracks. It was definitely one of the coolest things we've ever done, so it's great to relive it again a little bit through this episode. So to properly do this, we need to thank a lot of people that made all this possible. Not just for their contributions, but also just their energy and companionship throughout this whole thing. It was an amazing experience, and we're really honored to share it with these people. Walter, Thomas, and Eric, and everyone at Flapper Management, obviously, for managing the whole thing. Roy Gerritsen at Boompje for helping with the visuals and making lots of material and the whole syncing instrument. Manuel Rodriguez at Deep Red for the lights, amazing workhorse. Marijn Meijers at Kijkbuiskinderen, same story, amazing work ethic and a great experience he brought to the team. A lot of field experience and helped us set up, which relieved our stress immensely. Farhad Kodadzadeh for being there with his camera and shooting amazing videos of everything and being very funny most of the time. Jaap at Vision for doing the label side of the whole Outer Edges thing. Rutger Prins, Comatech, Chris Cousins, Wolfram Friele, Alexander Lehmann for all their visual contributions. All of the promoters, all of the venue staff, and of course everyone who came to see us perform, which is obviously very important. Francesco, our agent, for making the touring possible. Elodie for making the suits, very important. Ebo for helping us out with that as well. Rest in peace, bro. Matt Learmouth, press. Lorenzo helped Manuel out. Shout out to him. Anton van der Linde also shout out for shooting the teaser. So much stuff. So many people to thank, and you can tell that this isn't a project done by just a band or just a person. It's always a massive team behind it. So we owe a lot to these people, and it was an honor doing it with them. Big up.
And this is Anomaly.
Yo, Frequency Festival, are you ready to fucking do this? Let's go!
So this would normally be the moment where it really starts. This is when we would be sort of visible to people, because in the initial intro we would be hidden, and then slowly our hoods would light up towards the end of it, and then this would be the real start of the show. And this is always also the moment where we would know whether the lights were really working, whether the sound was good, whether everything was syncing properly when it dropped, and whether the audience would be into it, and whether everything was working. So this first drop was always a very key moment.
Yeah, we kind of set ourselves up for it to never be comfortable, because it was technically a bit advanced and challenging, so we were always nervous. Does it work? Do the hoods light up on these moments? And then it's all going, let's go. In the mix. Alright. We didn't keep the show to just Outer Edges material. We also kind of pulled in all kind of tunes that we liked that we did ourselves. And here's one of those. The second track in the set was our remix of What's or Not's Divide and Conquer.
And we're moving on into a huge mashup of Omnivore, Lost Child, Friendly Intentions, and Straight Hook. Yes, that's how we roll.
And it was all synced with MIDI, of course.
Yes, and speaking of MIDI, that was also the way we synced. Those were the basics of syncing the lights to the music. All the light design was done by Manuel Rodriguez. Big up to him.
Yes, big up Manuel Deep Red.
And his assistant. But later, we tell you more about that.
Let's do this!
Friendly attention.
So yeah, the light design and also the video syncing was all done through MIDI initially, and so we had to remake all of the tracks in general MIDI so that the light and video designers could pick whichever hit or sound they would follow. And especially for the mashup tracks, that was a bit of a challenge because we didn't know which parts they were going to use, but we had to make the mashups first, etc.
Yeah.
We can also let's decide now that we're gonna play some of the general MIDI versions of some of the tracks in future Noisia Radio episodes.
In the coming episodes, yeah, we did render some kind of like audio examples of what the general MIDI sounded like. It was hilarious. So the setup was we had Ableton running the audio, but as well live running the MIDI that was then going MIDI over network to the visual station, which Nick was running live on stage, and to the front of house where Manuel was operating the lights, kind of interacting with the MIDI that was being sent to him from Ableton.
Yeah. So every little adjustment we made had to change, had to have the changed MIDI to every bar that we would skip or whatever. And we also had a lot of help making all the MIDI files for all the tracks. Thanks, Frank.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amongst others, and Boris. Yeah. So yeah.
And here is Could This Be?
Yes, so that was Could This Be, and next up is Diplodocus. It's one of those moments that always felt really great in our set, this intro, because there would be a lot of live elements to this. It would be some crowd interaction and a lot of effects on the sound, and a lot of a very simple way to show that we'd really built an audio-visual instrument with the MIDI syncs that we could influence. So it's always one of my favorite moments when this build started, also because it's so dry and empty, and it gave people a moment to sort of like take a breath.
Yeah, and it was also a remix specifically made for this show.
True.
And it's the first time in the show that Thijs is soloing on
the modular
incredible machine.
Yeah, which we will talk about some more later on in this in the show, because this particular festival, this particular show we played, I had some problems with the electronics. But yeah, let's go to Diplodocus remix first. Yeah, so as Martijn said, this Diplodocus remix was... it's the Outer Edges remix, and it's called that because we developed a bunch of remixes of our older material just for the purpose of this live show, and then we released them later. So that would be probably the first time the Austrian crowd would hear this remix was in this show. And the same goes for the following tune, our remix for Camo and Krooked. We were just putting that into the show as we were kind of working on this remix. So here's Camo and Krooked's remix of the Entangled.
Yo, Austria. Time for a little Camo and Krooked. Let's do this.
Ooh, building up to Voodoo.
The original Voodoo.
Bounce, bounce,
Bounce!
bounce, bounce, bounce. Frequency, bounce, bounce, bounce. Woy-yoy.
Oh ja, die visuals waren fucking gruwelijk.
This also had some pretty wild visuals that I made myself, or wild, I should say really basic, because it was just some weird critters that I made, puppet warping them in After Effects to make them wiggle around. But for some reason...
They were amazing.
It kind of had a vibe.
My favorite visuals.
So that was the Voodoo original. There's also an Outer Edges remix of that we play in the show later. And now we're going into Tommy's theme, also an Outer Edges remix that we made for this Outer Edges show.
Yeah. Yo, Frequency Festival, make some fucking noise!
Bam.
Yeah, I always love that moment.
Up next is the tune with the most insane video that we've ever done. The Hairy Donut.
Insane.
It's Collider.
Yeah, when this one drops, we're all gonna jump. Springen! Jump! 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 Jump!
Yes, and this is a live show exclusive version where I was messing around with the looped version of that Reese in live modular. But yeah, during the show, I don't know what it was. There was a grounding issue, and basically my modular was transporting electricity to the ground through me. And I was constantly in pain touching the modular. I was constantly getting electrocuted, so that was fun.
4, 3, 2, jump!
Yes, lots of tempo switches in this set. We go from 128 from Collider to 172 to Stonewalled.
This one also had some of my favorite visuals, which were done by Roy Boompje YFX Lab, and we spent a lot of time making all the visuals together, and there was a bunch of contributors, and this one was done by him. And this is a statue with a waving cloth that somehow just really, really worked. And here we're moving into Stamp Out.
Denke, denke, gedenke, denke, denke.
Gedenke, denke.
Yo, Austria. Who's ready to go a little faster?
Yes.
And
then Into Dust. This is always the point in the show where all the cameras came out, because we had really nice visuals of... it's actually NASA footage, I believe, of the sun. So the tune has a vocal saying Into the Sun, but we called it Into Dust because Into the Sun was, I don't know, too on the nose.
No, we called it Into Dust
red.
because the vocal cuts off.
Like Into
because
Dust.
She says Into Dust. She says Into Dust, and then it became Into Dust. And it's also not NASA footage. It's a procedural. I think it's even just made in After Effects by Roy. Procedural Sun.
See, shows what I know. But yes, so everyone was filming, and then this great build, and then we go into Dust, and then our signature edit, which has the Neonlight remix of Into Dust cut into it in the middle.
This is always one of the biggest moments, yeah.
Yeah, always a high point in every set that we play.
Oh shit. Oh no. Oh shit. What?
Noisia Radio.
Program.
Yeah, another mashed up version of 2 tracks in this case, not 4. It's a program and Incessant. It's actually program's intro going into the build-up of Incessant. Very, very, very interesting.
Big up Florian Face, obviously, our production partner on program.
Yo, Frequency Festival, let's roll! Ja, das ist lecker.
Man, we really hit the gas pedal on this version of the show, didn't we?
Ja, man. Gewoon knallen.
Remix!
Nice. All those mixes in key. This is Sinkhole mixed into the Posij remix of Sinkhole.
Yo, Austria, make some noise for fucking underground music. Yeah. Let's take this shit all the way underground. All the way underground.
There is a strange and dangerous vulnerability underground. A man was in his bedroom. The earth opened up beneath the house and he fell in.
The bedroom floor just collapsed. And my brother-in-law Vincent, and he's underneath the house.
The earth opened up and left this giant sinkhole.
And the visuals for this were also really memorable. Spent a lot of time working on this one with Wolfram Friele, or he's the one who made the visuals, but it was quite a long process with a fair amount of art direction. Very elaborate, very cool. I was always very happy to do this because it was a real experience, this sonically and visually, and without even being dance floor yet. Like, it was already a whole story before it was dance music, and I really like that part of about this part of the show.
That area there where the sinkhole is literally beginning to sink. You know, what exactly is taking place, I'm not sure that anybody genuinely knows. All of a sudden, the ground itself becomes weak, and you've got sinking taking place. People have been evacuated from the area. Down here, things start shifting, things start moving.
The sinkhole was more than 20 feet deep and completely empty. No bed, no body, just dirt, 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 dirt.
Yeah. Get deaded into Mantra, and Mantra had my favorite light design of all the tracks in the show. It was designed so that it looks like the beams are bending, and yeah, it's just amazing. There should be some footage somewhere.
Yeah, I think we recorded a really nice show in Denmark with really good footage. Maybe we should upload that.
Maybe.
Mana get did it. Mana get did it. Mana get did it. Mana get did it like. Oi. Drum solo. Mana get did it. Mana get did it. Mana get did it. Mana get did it with the rhythm switch. Yo, Austria, are you fucking ready?
And now we're moving into shaking hands.
You're shaking hands with danger.
Running Blind had a whole video section that was synced with the music. We couldn't touch anything because it would ruin the rest of the track. And I remember on multiple occasions that there was something slightly wrong and it went out of sync. I don't even know how or why, but that's the stuff that that could frustrate the hell out of us.
Yeah, these were by Alexander Lehmann, I think. Yeah.
Going into Tentacles, and yeah, as I said before, we developed a lot of kind of edits for this show, and that afterwards also made it to our DJ show. So this is kind of like a mix of first the Tentacles original, then the Ivy Lab remix, and then the Teddy Killers remix. And I would always after Outer Edges, when we went back to DJing, I would also always play this specific set of mixes, or I don't even remember whether I made an edit or just always did it live to have something to do on stage. But a lot of the things that we developed for Outer Edges also made it into our DJ sets after.
I think this is also might have been the first show where we played the remix of Voodoo. And that's why it doesn't drop to the Teddy Killers remix, but it goes into the build-up of the Voodoo remix, I think.
Yeah.
But that's sort of something close to what's happening here.
Yeah, and also, so like for every show we would kind of mess with the track list a little bit, or mess with the lengths of how long a track was playing, and then every time we had to go into the MIDI for the video, the MIDI for the lights. It was Martijn was doing most or all of the work when it came to the MIDI programming in the set, and it was so much work. Up like every sort of 16 bars you would kind of insert would need 16 bars of the right MIDI, and then everything else needed to be shifted so everything stayed in sync. It was
especially for the fades, sort of when two things were in the mix, you had to at some point switch like what line you would follow with the MIDI. You couldn't have double MIDI for both tracks. So
these visuals were also really impressive. They were done by Chris Cousins, who also had done the Tentacles official video, which won Best Video at the Drum and Bass Arena Awards. Only right, because I always loved this part because these visuals looked so sick, and especially on an LED screen, where they were really well made for that, and always really popped.
Hello, welcome to Noisia Radio. You are now listening to Noisia Radio.
So yeah, like I said before, this is going straight into the build-up of the Outer Edges remix of Voodoo.
It's pretty crazy hearing this back in Corona times and how intense this is and how intense of an experience it would have been like. And I wonder if we would have done it differently if we'd done it now.
Yeah, I think we would have done it differently.
But I like to think about this whole show that it's really everyone involved at their peak performance. All the visuals, the lights, everything. Everybody who was involved felt like we were Voltroning from like a group of highly specialized individuals. And I'm still really proud of that when I hear this back and think about the experience.
Yep. And we had so much fun with the crew on tour. So much fun. Manuel was always there. Farhad was mostly there to capture everything. Marijn, yeah.
Thomas.
Yeah, let's not forget our tour buffel Marijn.
Yeah. Oh man, so many laughs. Big up the whole crew.
It's funny because we initially did all the setup ourselves, and it was so fucking draining and impossible, and it made you just not look forward to performing because you were only stressing out and you couldn't even focus on getting in a zone for performing. And then finally we got Marijn to come in and help us set up, and that took such a load off our shoulders, and it was so nice and made performing really fun. For the most part. Apart from when you're being electrocuted.
Smack My Bitch Up remix. Always a highlight.
Yo, Austria. Dankeschön. Austria is always like one of the best places for us to come. Always on the map. You guys fucking rock. All right. We are not exactly done yet. We still have some work to do. We have some pimping to do. We have some bitches to smack up. Yo, are you ready to change the pitch up? I said, Frequency Festival, Austria, are you ready to change the fucking pitch up? Hey, 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 hey! My bitch up. Chase my bitch up. Smack my bitch up. Yo, Austria, you ready to get fucking crazy? Let's go fucking loco! Smack my bitch up! Smack my bitch up!
This is also always a very, very big moment in the set when this sudden switch happens. It's a little bittersweet to play it now because of our friend Ebo's recent passing. Rest in peace, dude. But yeah, this was always a massive explosion. I always love this.
Choosing for you.
Yo, Austria! Make some noise for fucking foreign beggars! Wait! Foreign beggars! Sorry, my fucking modular is electrocuting me. I don't want to touch this thing anymore. I'm sorry. Normally I do this awesome manipulating sound thing, but this thing is dangerous right now. Let's not go there. All right. We promised ourselves we would never play this song anymore, but it's an addiction and we just, we're too weak. We have to do it. We don't want to do it, but we have to do it. So, for the last time tonight, we are going to play Dead Limit. But after that, no more Dead Limit, okay? It's enough. All right, one more time, Dead Limit. Here we go.
Yeah, electrocuted by the modular. There's always something it was always stressful doing these live things, whether it was something with the visuals or the audio or the modular, but it was such a satisfying experience as well to take risks and to do things that we hadn't done before. So I'm really proud of us, and I look back to that period with so much joy and pride of us and the whole team, everybody that was involved behind the stages as well, making it all possible.
Big up the circle pit. Keep it friendly. Keep it safe.
So what would be a Noisia live set without Dead Limit? Obviously, we had to end with this one as the final kicker.
Yo, Austria, I want to see everybody hands up. Hands in the sky. Hands up. Everybody.
So that brings us to the end of this retrospective Outer Edges Noisia Radio episode.
Yeah. Let's just throw some names around one more time, because we really had a lot of help making the show and playing the show. It's definitely Manuel and Roy and Marijn and Thomas and Walter and Jaap and Farhad, Francesco, our agent, and just everyone else that helped us build this set and all of the audio, visual, and light material that came with it. Big up everyone, and hope you enjoyed it as much as we did playing it. You can check this out as uninterrupted audio, because we have also released this today on regular platforms.
Okay, last one. This is really the last one. One more. Just one more. Austria, hands up.
Next week we'll do a normal episode of Noisia Radio.
Everybody!
Thanks everybody for tuning in. As always, special thanks to our Patreon subscribers. And see you guys next week.
See ya. Thank you. Bye.
Peace. Let's go! Dankeschön. Und auf Wiedersehen. This was Outer Edges. Thank you guys so much. You guys fucking rock. See you next time. See you soon. Bis bald, okay? Ciao.